Welcome to Horrify Environment. If you are new here, you can subscribe our channel. We upload daily horror videos. There once was a magnificent ancient structure that housed the hostel, right in the middle of a busy college campus. It was a place of study, laughing, and towering over the grounds with its Gothic architecture and walls covered in ivy. Also, as rumor had it, something considerably more sinister. One of the scholars that resided amid its antiquated corridors was Sarah, a cheerful first-year enthusiastic about starting her academic adventure. Like many young people, she had heard rumors of ghost stories circulating around the hostel, but she dismissed them as mere superstition. Relegated to room 403, Sarah was tucked away on the building's fourth level. She felt like she was being watched as she unloaded her items. There was a heavy, inexplicable presence in the room, yet she attributed it to anxiety and her unfamiliarity with her new environment. Weeks passed, and Sarah became accustomed to her academic schedule. However, weird things started happening in her dorm room. Strange noises would occasionally reverberate through the hallways at night. Objects would inexplicably shift from their proper locations, and Sarah would frequently awaken to discover cold fingers tracing down her skin. Emily, her roommate, laughed at the idea of ghosts and put it down to stress-induced hallucinations when she confided in her. Sarah, though, was more astute. Dorm room 403 had a sinister presence lurking in the shadows. Sarah looked into the hostel's past, determined to learn the truth. There is a legend that a teenage student committed suicide in room 403 decades ago, under suspicious circumstances. It was rumored that her restless soul would prowl the hallways, seeking revenge on anybody who attempted to interrupt her never-ending sleep. Equipped with this understanding, Sarah set out to establish communication with the spirit. With a Ouija board, candles, and a healthy dose of paranoia, she readied herself to call in the ghost of dorm room 403. Sarah and Emily were sitting in the poorly lit room that night as the clock struck midnight, their fingers shaking as they put them on the planchette. They waited breathlessly as they cried out to the ghost, asking it to come forward. The only sound at first was quiet, only sometimes interrupted by the sound of their own breathing. The planchette then started to move, ever so slowly, and it started to spell out mysterious messages from the afterlife. The ghost introduced itself as Rebecca, the young woman who had tragically died in room 403. As Sarah asked Rebecca what she wanted, her heart thumped in her chest. The one word that the planchette spelled out was justice. Devoted to assisting the agitated soul in attaining tranquility, Sarah further explored Rebecca's narrative. She learned that vicious comments and constant harassment had pushed Rebecca to despair while she was being abused by bullies. In her last, she had cried out for a time, wanting someone to see her suffering and put an end to it. Sarah decided to make up for the mistakes of the past with her renewed resolve. She confronted the bullies and made their despicable behavior public. The hostel was abuzz with rumors and indignation as the truth was revealed, but Sarah ignored it. Her goal was to release Rebecca's spirit. However, as the days went by, Sarah couldn't get rid of the uneasy sensation she had. Her sleep was disturbed by strange dreams. She would wake up to visions of dark beings and threats spoken in whispers. Sarah could feel a chilly presence in the room one night as she lay in bed. It was stronger than before. She turned to look out the window and gasped in terror as she saw the small girl standing at the foot of her bed, her eyes empty and full of hate. Sarah was paralyzed with terror as she saw the spectral figure call out to her through the window, her voice a spooky whisper in the shadows. She growled, "Join me," her voice brimming with poison. "Come with me into the shadows so we can spend time together forever." However, Sarah resisted giving in to the evil spirit's allure. She drove the ghost from her chamber using a strength she didn't know she had, and used her own willpower to drive out the darkness. Sarah emerged from the ordeal triumphant, but shaken as dawn appeared on the horizon. The ghost of dorm room 403 had finally found peace after being laid to rest. The hostel was released from the clutches of its eerie past on that day. After facing her worries and coming out on top, Sarah went back to her studies with a renewed sense of purpose. However, she knew deep down that the memory of dorm room 403 would follow her forever, serving as a constant reminder of the strength of bravery in the face of adversity and the thin curtain separating the living from the dead.